Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at AGIX. Before we jump into the price action, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you are enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it is free to join. Once you're in the general chat area, just mention a member of staff and we'll be happy to help you out with anything you may need. Okay, so let's get into the price action here. So let's talk about some of these options that we need to just bear in mind. We did talk about those two potentials where either this is a third wave or this is a C wave. If it's a C wave, we could look for a breakdown, which could actually look to take us lower down here. And I'm just going to quickly cycle that on. If I just turn this off. At the moment, we still only have a three-wave move to the upside here. We can count this as an A, a B, and a C to the upside. So, we need to be aware that we could actually still look to break down for the C wave, which could actually look to bring us back down towards this 0338 zone. If we do get this push to the downside here, that could be in a five-wave structure, and we could actually look to break these lows. So we need to be a bit cautious within this move. If we do start to retrace here, we wouldn't really want to look, if we're looking for bullish potential, we don't really want to actually start to break down below this zone of the 786, which would be the 0679 zone. If we do break down below that, that would actually make it very unlikely that we are setting a wave 2 here and looking for that bullish potential. We are still expecting a fourth wave first, but if we do break down below this point here of this 0977, that would invalidate that option. Okay, so that's the bearish potential here. Still looking until it's broken for this continuation to the upside and a five-wave move. Effectively, what we're looking for here is this fourth wave. Ideally, I still want this to come down a little bit deeper here. And it is possible because if we're looking at this as a 1-2, effectively this wave 2 was quite long. So we'd want this wave 4 potentially could take some time to play out here. Where we actually look at this as a wave A, a B, and a C, then we get another connector wave and another move down. Either that, or we'd want to see this retrace down into this zone here. So we'd want to see it either correct in price or in time. We'd want to see a deeper move down into this sort of 1571 to this 2197 range. That would be the ideal target range for this fourth wave. So if we do move a little bit more sideways here and we don't actually manage to break back above the 6715, it is possible we could be setting for a deeper move here. So the two ways, there's a few ways actually that we're looking at this. Basically we have this as an A, B, and C that we're looking for move to the downside. We can also argue that potentially this A wave could be here and that we can count this as a five-wave move into here with a triangle and then another five-wave move. So an A, B, C. So a zigzag for an A wave. And then we could be arguing that we also could look at this just as a zigzag for this B or a connector wave here. And then we look for another A, B, C to the downside, which potentially could look to take us towards this 1-to-1 of this 2691. However, if it's going to be a three-wave move from this point here, what we'd be on the lookout for, obviously we don't know if this is completed yet, but if it is, what we'd be looking out for is something like this, a three-wave structure to develop to the side like this here, and that potentially we could look to move down. The 1-to-1 would be this 3596, and the lower range of this sort of 618 would be this 3033 to this 3370. So this is a zone we could still look to push down to if we fail to actually take these highs. There is also the possibility that this could become a triangle here, where this is an A, B, C, D, and an E, and then we actually look to push to the upside one more time. So we need to just keep an eye on that. It is also possible that we can look at this triangle in the opposite direction, where this basically becomes an A, a B, a C, a D, and an E, and then we actually look to break to the downside. So invalidation for both these options would basically be moving back above this 49.92, and in this case we wouldn't want to actually cross this 37.90 range. Well, actually for both cases we don't want to cross those 2 points. So if we just stay within these ranges here, we could actually have a move to play out here. The difference is that this triangle would have another leg up in this E wave, which would fail to take this C wave, and then we'd actually look to break down, and then we'd be looking at this as an A, a B wave triangle, and a C to the downside. So this would kind of tie in with the wave 4 taking a bit more time to play out if we do get a triangle here. But we also need to be aware of the bullish potentials here, where we could actually still look to break to the upside. If we do break to the upside one more time here, I'd still be looking out for this red retracement box here, this 58.85 to this 49.19. Effectively, we could just see this play out as an A, a B, and a C, and then still look for that rejection. So an interesting area, should we move up to it, would be this center channel line here again. We have interacted with this a few times. We've lost the support of it, and it could lead to us coming up, getting a retest, and actually looking to break back down. Like I said, the channel that we have drawn here, that'll be an interesting zone to see if we do get support on it, if we do move back down. That would actually tie in quite nicely with coming back down here in towards this, between this is the 236, so we've actually come into the 236, but I'd prefer a move deeper towards this 382 to this 50%. So that's what we're still looking out for here within this structure. So within this, like I said, we need to be aware that there is that potential for a breakout. And what I'm currently looking at is this move here, where we, instead of looking at this as a zigzag here, you can argue that you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So we can argue this is still valid, and we could be then looking for this as potential 1, 2, and then looking for this third wave. Third wave confirmation would only come by moving up past the 72.40 zone, and would actually lead us to then be looking for this fourth wave. So the fourth wave at a 382 retracement would be this 56.52. That would be off of this line. If we do get extensions, that can push this third wave up higher, so we just need to be aware of that fact. If we do get this fourth wave settle in this zone, we could then look to this fifth wave potentially coming up here towards this 48.28 to this 76.69. If we do get a move like this play out, effectively we'd have to go back here and potentially look at this move slightly different and say that potentially we still would have to then look at the fact that maybe this third wave is actually up there. But for the time being, I'm still keeping the count where it is, because I do prefer where it's currently sitting. So we'll have to see. If we do start to break to the upside here and we take this 67.15 area, then effectively we could look for this potential that actually we're still within this third wave and it's extended up even more now. So that would, it's just something we need to keep an eye on. Until we don't have enough structure here to confirm it, the way we'd be looking at it, if I come down here into the 1 hour, I'm looking at this in two ways. So within this structure here, we can argue two things. So we can either look at it, let me move that up. So we can either look at it as a simple move, which would be looking at basically not this one, but this one. And what we'd then be arguing is that potentially we could look at this as a 1, 2, 3. So 2 would have been quite shallow, 3 deep, 4 and 5 to the upside. So this is possible. It's not the neatest count here, and I don't really like it, but it hasn't failed yet. So we'll have to see. If we do get a deeper move down here into this 42.38 to this 37.78 zone, then potentially we can look for this potential to actually form a bigger 5-wave structure here, where this becomes a wave 1, a 2, a 3, 4, and a 5 to the upside. So the target zone for this third wave would be this 59.27. This would be a zone we'd be looking for that continuation to the upside, and then a push up towards the 65.49 to this 61.60 range. So this is still something that is possible, but if we did get a single 5-wave move like this, it wouldn't actually take us up to the zone we need to hit for this third wave, which would be this 72.27. So if we do have a look at this, this would also tie in quite nicely to that idea of the B wave moving up. The 1-to-1 would actually be here towards this 56.61, but that would take us right into this 1-2-3-6 at 62.20 to the 65.93 zone. So if we do move up here in this move, that could actually just be an A, a B, and a C, and then actually we still look to push down one more time for continuation to the downside of this bigger fourth wave here. So this is something that we need to just give it a bit of space. These moves can move up and down just as quickly as they did previously. So we don't have too much bullish structure here yet. The other way we can look at this is looking at the potential that we are looking at this move effectively as being a series of 1s and 2s. Sorry, I've got 2 on here now. So there's actually another 1-2 here if we're looking at it on this count, but I haven't put it onto the chart because basically these waves need to play out first. But what we'd be looking at was the possibility that this could be a 1 and a 2, and then we look to push up for a 3, and then we have another 1-2 here. So 1-2, 1-2, then we get 3-4-5, 4-5. So this is possible. The key areas for this move would be this low point here of this 40 cent 37. Losing that would invalidate it, and losing this 37.90 would also invalidate it. So potentially here what we'd be looking at is basically the possibility that we find support in this 43.75 to this 41.80 area, and then we actually look to push up for a third. This third wave location would be this 55.90, 59, and that would actually be at the zone we'd have to sort of reach up into to get a better indication that we are within this move. If we do reach this zone, we'd be looking for a fourth wave 382 retracement from that line would actually be at 50.34, and then we could actually look for a fifth wave up to here to this 59.56. From there, we'd then be looking for that confirmation of this additional fourth into this fourth wave location, and another push up to around this 63.20 to this 59.92. So we need to be careful though with extensions, because sometimes these can extend out further than I have here, and sometimes instead of going to the 1618, this wave 3 might go to the 2618 or something like that. So you need to just be a little bit careful with these. They can extend out further if they want to do so. So this is just one of the other possibilities. Once again, this wouldn't really put us in the zone of that. If I just turn this back on, second, turn the wrong one off here, break out, there we go. So this still wouldn't take us up here to this 72.40 that we need for confirmation of this wave 3 here. So, you know, even if we do move up like this, it could just be a corrective structure, and then we still look to break down. So we need to just be a little bit cautious of this move to the upside. It needs to prove itself first, and it is possible that we don't even manage to break above this 49.95. So we need to just first off take that, and then we need to sort of get over the fib resistances that we talked about previously. Basically, you know, this could look to push us up to this 84 to the 76 range, but it needs to prove itself. We need to see the good structure and volume coming in here in this third wave. If we fail to do that, then it could just be a 5-wave move, and we look to break down again. Okay, so that's basically what we are looking at for the for that 5-wave move. What we were also talking about is that potential continuation to the downside here, and what we'd be looking for is the possibility of something like this. So we can look at this in two ways. We can either look at this as wave 1 potentially completing into here, and this is just a flat correction here. Alternatively, we can treat that as a triangle and then potentially put this here and look at this as a zigzag. So these two possibilities are still on the table. It is also possible that we could move up one more time here and still be within, would not violate this count, where we get a move like that up into that sort of center line region and looking to target out this zone. Let me just get this fib back on here. Looking to target out towards the 618 area, which would be this 51.48, or up to this 57.86. If we start to move past this zone and we do get a push up here, it becomes less likely that we are within just a 3-wave move, and we would be potentially looking to actually break above this high. But really, until we actually take this 67.15 area, we need to still be cautious that we could still look to break down after this 5-wave move up here. So yeah, this 786 would be sort of an early warning as to whether we actually are going to be looking at a bigger move here. If we do break significantly above that, it becomes more likely that we're actually in a bigger 5-wave structure. Yeah, though obviously we need to meet those criteria that we talked about earlier on in the video. So the other way that I'm looking at it is, if we want to argue that it's completed here, whether we want to look at this, basically the way I have been looking at it is as a flat here, where that's a completed move. For as long as we don't actually manage to break above this high, this wave of 49.92, we can still look for this potential to break down. I'm actually going to come onto a higher time frame here and look for this potential to actually break down for this third wave. So the way I'd be looking at this is that potentially, like I said, either this wave 2 could still be in play, and we actually need to come back up or higher one more time here, and this wave one's here, and then we look to break down deeper. But from our current situation, should we fail to actually break this 49.92, we need to be aware there is a way of potentially counting this as a diagonal, in which case then we could look for that bearish potential and looking to actually break down something like this. Though this wouldn't take us to the target. What we'd be looking for is this, say 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 as a diagonal pattern here. Then this could then become a wave 2, because we've actually faced rejection right off of this 0786 zone. So, you know, it is possible we could actually see this start to break to the downside. We also could argue that this is just a 3-wave structure here. So really, until we actually take this 49.92, we need to just be aware that we could have a 1-2 within this zone. Even if we do push up a little bit higher here one more time, and we fail to hold this zone of this 37.90 on the retracement, this would still be a valid count. And what we'd be looking for confirmation on this third wave would be a move down towards this 30 cent 44. However, looking at the size of this wave one, I'd want it to be actually a bit deeper, just because there wouldn't be much space for this fourth wave. So either we would hit this and this fourth wave would be sideways, in which case we'd be looking for this 29.12 to this 27.11 zone as a potential target area, or alternatively what we'd be looking for is the potential that this third wave might actually start to extend out a bit and instead go towards that 2.618, which would bring us much lower down here. We get a fourth and a fifth and actually look to cross this 1814. If we do cross this 1814 area, what I'd then be looking out for is an additional fourth and fifth, potentially bring us down to the 1654 to this 1426. So these are all still possible options here. You know, we can argue that there's many things going on here. These are some of the counts that I'm just keeping an eye on, because if we do start to break down more aggressively here, we need to just bear in mind, like I said, this could be a C wave high, and actually we look to break down much deeper. And starting off with a bigger 5-wave structure like this would potentially, it could just be, still could just become an A, a B, and a C wave. But yeah, if we do start to take out this wave, this high here of this 98.42, it starts to become less likely that we're looking for that bullish setup. Though really, until we actually take this 36.63, we'd have to just be careful that we haven't actually completed a move into this high, and then we get an additional 1-2. If that's the case, this 618 at 1110 would be an interesting area to keep an eye on, and the 786 at 679. So in between those ranges, 50% technically is the minimum required. Well, it's not really, it depends what the structure is. If it's a zigzag, I'd expect at least 50%. But if it's it can also go all the way down to the 786. If we do start to break through the 786 zone on this retracement, then it becomes less likely, and I'd be looking for that possibility of coming down towards this, taking this low, and potentially looking to push even deeper than this C wave currently 1-to-1 target area. Okay, so I think that's enough information for one video. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below in the comment section. We're always happy to hear from you, so drop something down there, we'll get back to you if you need anything explaining or anything like that. Also in the description you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it is free to join. Once you're in the general chat area, just mention a member of staff. We'll be happy to help you out with anything you may need. In the description you'll also find affiliate links for both PrimeXBT and BYBIT, both great exchanges we use all the time for our trading. Check them out if you don't have an account already. Everyone, have a great day. We'll see you in the next one.